Hey, fire signs, welcome to your reading for the week of May 12th through to what is it, the 19th? Yeah, probably. We are in the thick of Taurus season. So we're going to have a full week of Sun going to conjoin Uranus and Mercury entering Taurus. So a lot of our awareness around our senses and maybe how we're different and how we actually need to contribute to the world, to the greater society, is going to start making itself apparent to us. So some of y'all got it going on. Like you literally are on fire for life. You're like praying, your prayer is your life. Like you go to work and you put yourself fully into what you're doing, and this is going to yield some really dope results. Like you might have connections. For my Aries tribe, this is your second house. For Leos, this is your second 10th house of career and legacy. And then for Sagittarius's, this is your sixth house of daily life and routine. So you guys might be changing it up. You might be really pushing to get something out into the world. Shaman of Wands is indicating that you learn to put yourself back together from something. Maybe you guys had a fall from grace or a wake up call about someone or something that wasn't really working out for you. We had a whole bunch of cards just fall now. Ooh, I see now. Oh, very clear. Okay. Thank you, half the deck, for dropping. I will not read any of those. So we have some etiquette going on over here. So again, some of you guys might be igniting a passion for yourself or for your creative projects and seeing them manifest quickly in the world because you're putting a lot of emotional and like mental fuel into it. And this is allowing for you to change up your luck, your sense of place in the world, your sense of a rite of passage, really. And with that moon having come out upside down, it's like you see your emotions from a new point of view, like as fuel rather than as um quicksand. So you're not really sinking into um stalemate situation, stalemate energy. This is largely due to Neptune being in the sign of Aries, and it will retrograde back into Pisces, but now we understand like where our passions are pointing us. And it's almost like, you jot down that note on your to-do list, or something comes through to where you get work or an opportunity, and you're no longer victimizing yourself to your circumstance, which is very powerful and important. It seems like someone's learning to have more fun. Okay, that's really cool. And work hard though. However, we will read these for Leo because I feel like I'm sorry, for Aries, because I feel like they wanted to come out. So I love this healed masculine energy, Aries, for you guys. It feels like you guys might have met someone special who allows for you to really fully exert your creativity. And this person is, they love to see you meditate. They love the strongest version of you, industrial, getting stuff done. And you have the wheel of fortune. So it feels like maybe your energy has shifted enough to where you're allowing someone new to enter your life, and you're not holding on to past regrets, or you're learning to ask the challenging questions up front so that you're not kind of stuck in your head and or creating fear for yourself, false evidence appearing real. It's almost like nipping it in the bud isn't what we thought it was. It's like learning to uproot issues that would otherwise grow, but we realize that they are our own issues. Yeah. Lono and Kamapua. Luckily for me, I had the only two decks I kept. The rest I sent to California so that I was leaving Maui. Both of those, like I kept those two deck card info sheets aside. So blessings. It's all God, all good. So what we have here is he on here though? Nope. Well, regardless, Lono and Kamapu is almost like you have this beautiful setting, and the underlying concern is no longer something that's going to hold you back. So it's almost like your lowest common denominator with whatever your situation is, Aries, is no longer something that you're having to sort of like conform to someone else's rules, or the rules that you've made up, or like you're seeing very clearly how you have given your power away in the past and not been able to feel your own feelings and put your heart out there regardless of what other people have going on. Yeah, mono is I learned recently that, and I like that there's a sequence of it. It's like seeing that people are who they are and letting yourself believe when they show you the first time. If someone on their own accord comes and apologizes to you after having some sort of conflict. It's like they're working through their own inner alchemy. They're learning to shift in the moment, and they're a growth oriented mindset. But if you have people who kind of keep prying and sneaking around wanting to victimize you, you need to learn how to just notice it, kind of thing. So giving that awareness to it almost shifts it without needing to control it, but just like being a conscious participant and observer. And with that, it looks like we're going to come into correct communication, which I do believe I have this card description. Share confusion, contradictions, and aspirations, restore harmony and balance through honest dialogue and forgiveness, reaffirm commitment. So I would say that this is more so towards people who you are in your close circle, like not problematic people who just came out of nowhere, because Mars is in Leo and right now Mercury's in Aries. So there's some people who have, with the sun in the second house, this is 12th house energy for the collective. Some people have issues with themselves and with their aggression or with their motivations. And it's none of your business, but it's important that we discuss it with people who are in our immediate circle. Pele, Goddess Pele. I was wondering if I even had this card anymore. Beautiful. Love to see you, Goddess Pele. Madame Pele. Let's see if she's on here. Do I have 22? Oh, this is just giving that full moon coming up in Scorpio. So upheaval. Kauna is the potential for great creativity or catastrophic changes that lurk under the surface. So that's that underlying issue that we're upheaving. We're no longer relating to our lowest common denominator and learning to shift in the moment by cultivating our passions, our desires, creativity, and inclinations. We're learning to examine priorities to follow the appropriate course of action. What I'm learning is like, okay, so for instance, I just had to like see that I couldn't upload a licensed song that I just did a remix for, which is very dope. It's very good. I'm like super happy that I sat down and did this first. But it's almost like just cultivating that energy of creative self-expression because I wanted to do it. Without any real attachment to the outcome. It's kind of like I could play that for my DJ sets live. Like it doesn't have to be on the internet. I could put it on YouTube, like not earn any money from it, but just sort of like grow a level of like my ability to listen, my ability to mix, my ability to use all of my tools and materials, which are sound files that I've purchased over the last year, which I'm very blessed to have. Oh my gosh, the Mac's about to die. Hold on, guys. Okay, so see, there's a fine example of like if we don't acknowledge certain things, like and have them on hand or prepared, or even work towards like formulating solutions right now, there could be the opportunity to upheave, but in a way that's kind of destructive and counteractive to what it is that we're actually requiring. So, like, my laptop was about to die, and luckily the charger was just outside. I had, excuse me, to kind of scramble, but working in this format with Zoom versus just going live on YouTube has saved me a lot of time and energy. And it's almost like if we acknowledge that we don't have infinite time, we can make different choices that align us more quickly to our goals and the outcomes that we're seeking. Kawai Kapilico, reflections in our relationship. So that's where this comes through. It's just like some beautiful energy, Aries, to where you're no longer falling prey to this victimizer mentality or people who have that agenda. And you're learning how to laugh and to not take things so seriously, as well as to put your heart out there. Dope magic energy, baby. Oh, the Wheel of Fortune. So hold on to those good feelings. Hold on to these good people who want to see you win, because they're absolutely in your corner rooting for you. Okay, Leo. How's Leo doing? So you guys are having a 10th house legacy career glow up. Maybe it's just like you've been making small changes to how people can pay you, or you've been consolidating various accounts, like getting automatic payments off of your account, like kind of things where it's not likely or even possible that your information could be like taken from offline. But for those Leos who are concerned or changing up how they earn money, just understand that you're going to make a big impression no matter what it is that you're doing. So you could be a student with scholarship work, or you could be an entrepreneur making your seventh business. And it's like you guys are actually really in alignment for being in charge, large and in charge, but also with the emotional finesse of someone really graceful. Oh, that's a relief. It feels like there's, those power moves are more in the grace and more in the gentleness than with forcing or having to make other people listen to us just because we need to be the loudest one in the room. I want to pull a couple more from Mother Peace, Leo. And it feels like people are willing to listen to you. So just balancing out that need to be fiery and leap for it, kind of thing of like where I mentioned I could just upload the song to YouTube. It's like, okay, well, let me just give it like a week or so, give it till this full moon before I do that, go about that. And I just shared it with two friends who were waiting to hear that, or like one of them knew that I was going to make it, and the other one is going to probably be stoked that I did. Okay, dropping cards. Hello. So yeah, maybe. Ooh, I see now. It's like in the past we've rejected the ability to just take ourselves lightly, and we've been taking ourselves too seriously. Which, if it fell, it's almost like you don't want to see that. You don't want to see how we've been neglecting our own needs and not allowing for our cup to just be full. Like we almost kind of like refused the cup, the emotional fulfillment for anger and for toxic relationships, codependent relationships. And finally, I feel that Leo, we had a wake up call between the moon, like this past new moon in Taurus and the full moon in Libra. There might have been some switch in our values and how we are valued, how we earn money, what it is that we do for our soul, what it is that we do to feel emotionally fulfilled. And through doing that, it's almost like layers of shame might be dropping off. You may no longer feel as compelled to answer to certain energies or like respond in certain ways to various like methods of people getting you to do what they want you to do, which is powerful and important. I'm so tired of dropping cards, y'all. This is like annoying. Our passions are leaping from our hands, springing forth. Ooh, Pu'olo. So for my Leas who have been sort of like neglecting to fill their cup and getting into this like energy of like needing to rehash feuds or conflict inside of your head, it's an addiction. And the only way to break the cycle is to release toxic, um, codependent relationships. So that codependency is toxic because it almost takes away your voice. It doesn't allow for you to be aligned to your vision, to your heart, and what your heart is needing. And we need to make sure that we're removing people, places, substances from our life that no longer serve us. And in doing so, we won't need to look at how, or like avoid looking at how we treat ourselves inside, how there's like a battlefield inside of our mind. Compassion, Malamahoe. And I believe that I have this one. Let's see. Yep. Compassion. The truly confident find compassion for human vulnerability and frailty. All are worthy of respect, every single last person, because we're all one at the end of the day. And there might be a growing ability to see that, to feel that, to envision a life where you feel reciprocated, you feel like you're with your highest version of yourself. And as a result, you got Menehune. Let's see if that card's here. Little people, persistence. Yeah, we just have to keep working on it. It's going to be something like, when you make dough, like you have to keep rolling it or mixing in more flour to balance out what your recipe calls for. And persevering through dull phases of a project or relationship, forceless persistence. Yeah, that's that grace. That's that zero resistance to getting what we need to get done as far as like expressing ourselves and allowing for ourselves to have grace and explore that. Hulu. I'm going to just read all these from the cards. Illusion. Soar with a feather to rise above limitations and myopic views. Realize the line between your vision and its manifestation is a permeable one, a permeable membrane. So, like every ounce of compassion you have and every ounce of willingness that you have to drop any habits that no longer serve you are going to be something that moves your goal into fruition. So, again, my example of mixing this remix and doing that before I got on here was a different choice than what I was going to make earlier today. It would have made it to where I didn't have time for anything else. And I would have done that first. But instead of that burdensome energy, it's like putting grace into the mix. Honey, so someone might have found a Beloved, I feel like with the lovers and Kane, there's definitely this energy of like a divine masculine entering your life. If it's not you, Leo, then it's someone else who's going to really want to see this strong version of you, the successful version of you thrive. Whereas like, you know, there are people who really don't want that for you, Leo, and you need to just understand that when you feel it, the moon card and this full moon that we're releasing that kind of energy with in Scorpio, it's going to be time to just shine your heart brighter, to keep your heart open, especially if you are open and ready for a relationship or open and ready for creative collaborations. If it's not a relationship, it's just like you might manifest like the studio for yourself, or an assistant, or someone who you are assisting that's going to help you to grow your abilities in whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, Sagittarius. Ooh, we got the Daughter of Swords and the Crone. So someone Sag might be healing their lineage. Because it's with the Shaman of Wands and the World card, it's just saying that there's definitely some ancestral healing happening, or that has happened, or is happening as a result of decisions that you're making to feel and honor your feelings. Jupiter moving through your seventh house and into your eighth is going to bring up these potential issues or areas where you've succeeded to the surface, and really allow for you to take matters into your own hands about how defensive you are, or how prepared you are constantly for like the worst case scenario. So we do want to be prepared for the worst, but expect the best, expect a miracle. And we have the Four of Discs. So it's just like putting yourself to the task on a regular basis, being consistent, and then honoring where you've come from, honoring and understanding how far you've brought your lineage, and really realizing that we're the survivors of our lineage, like of the human species. So there's a lot to celebrate on a regular basis, but don't take it overboard, right? We have the Fool card. So funny. Don't take it overboard. Bend, don't break, Sagittarius. So you see the Fool has a cane, a purse, I think some bells, and a peacock feather in their foot, and they're like crossing a river. And it feels like you guys have the mental agility at this time to not get too swept up in a crossroads. And maybe that crossroads is just going to require that you get to your meditative work, but you also are willing to be flexible, be open minded, and to stay prepared on your path for unexpected assistance, unexpected grace in your relationships, like people to come to your aid who really want to see you thrive and win and like support you in your vision. I hope that this audio is recording fine because the volume was pretty low just now. Yeah, so it feels like for Sag, you guys are going to triumph in ways that you haven't yet. And we have the Six of Discs. I'm not picking it up because it's on the floor. That is referring to receiving a quality of pampering. Maybe someone needs a spa day or deserves a spa day, and you're willing to be pampered, to be treated well. Ooh, Lamaku and Haumea, yeah. Fire signs, it feels like we might be grounding a relationship. I'll pick it up. The dog is barking, so he's like, pick up your card, girl. We might be giving and receiving equally in a partnership, and healing our ancestry as a result. Like maybe all of our ancestors had to kind of deal with like tolerating their significant other, but we're now choosing consciously to invite authentic, reciprocal love and communication into our lives. We have Lei and Alpaca. So perhaps someone had a separation, Sagittarius, or as a result of a separation, you meet this divine counterpart. So you could have had a breakup like months ago, and you've been working on accepting what the love was, what it was for, instead of just bashing the other person and wanting to like close the cycle prematurely. Just really getting a handle on like who you are and what you needed from the situation. And Nalu, learning to just ride the waves. Fire signs, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope the audio is fine. We're going to post it anyways. And if and when I'm able to share my remix, y'all know it's going up on the YouTube at least. So I will see you guys soon. Have a blessed full moon, and listen to me and Etange's long talk for all 12 signs. Aloha.